وديم بها بلاهي حبها ليعابر في فؤادي وناهي أهو الخلاني ينطق بالجواهر فاهي.
Welcome back to an exciting episode of Journey to Islam. This is your host, Abu Naima, also known as Brother Skari, and we wish you enjoy. Please share, also subscribe, and once again, hit that like button. Okay. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Let me see. Am I in there? Okay. Looks like I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
In there.
All right. So I'm looking, brother. How's everything, man? Good seeing you, brother.
Man. Alhamdulillah. You know, brothers, he's running back and forth, man. And I got, really, I'm off all this week, but,
Really?
but I still got a lot of things going on and stuff like that. So alhamdulillah, I was like, doing many different things, brothers busy at the house.
Hold on 1 quick second. Hold on.
Go ahead. And we have, once again, I'm your host, Abu Naima, also known as Brother Askari. And we have one of our honorable guests here once again. And what we want to hear from Professor Adam is his journey to God. I know this is intriguing. So
wow, this is too much.
I'm on edge. I've been waiting on this. You know what I mean? So, and I like to let everyone else know that you guys heard the interview earlier concerning his nephew. Okay. Yeah. So
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so a lot of people were intrigued by your nephew's
I was
testimony as far as his journey to Islam. So I mean, go ahead and introduce yourself. I mean, and I'll let you start where you decide to start at, and then I'll come in and introduce certain questions that I have at a particular time and when needed. You know what I mean? First, you introduce yourself.
Okay. Wow. First of all, I'm truly honored anytime I get a chance to sit with you, even if it's online or via Skype or Zoom or anything like this. It's always a pleasure, brother, to see you.
Hey, bruh, it is my pleasure. And I was telling your nephew that, yeah, man, I wish I could try to make it back through there sometime soon. So I'm looking forward to trying to do that. To come see you. It's a pleasure.
Inshallah. Well, we're here for you, definitely. Oh man, I have to tell you this story. I remember when I was at San Diego State, I said, you know what, this is the last time I'm going to tell this story because I was the advisor to the MSA, and they were asking, and I was like, man, if I tell these people, man, I went to San Diego State, they might want to try to do me if they find out, the history, But I'm like, they're gonna find out anyway, so it's probably better for me to be the one giving the story, than for them to find out. I remember. I was on campus and this lady, white lady, she was cool. She came to me, she said, I just want to ask you a question. Somebody told me that, that you've been to jail before, and I was just like, the way she said it was just like, man, what do you say? I mean, I said, I said, wow, she said, well, I don't, it wasn't me, she said that, yeah, I guess they did, you can do a Google search now and find out pretty much anything you want about a person, But I'm saying that because that is pretty much where it came from, had I not been incarcerated, who knows, the likelihood of me being a Muslim because I don't really feel like I became Muslim. I feel like, you know, I didn't accept Islam, that Islam accepted me. You know, the route that I took was a little non-traditional, you know what I mean? I wasn't banging, I wasn't, you know, slanging, I wasn't doing all the things that most of us do, but I did something else, you know, and I'm like, I'm hesitant now because I'm saying, okay, how much of this story do I want to give?
Yeah,
because I'm in the process of writing. Yeah. I'm in the process of writing, so you'll see hopefully within the next year or so, you will see the actual whole story. And you know, as I look at it, I'm just like, damn, did I do that? What? You know? Okay. But as far as the conversion, that is where it happened, man. I remember being in Central, Chino Central, man. And it was just like amazing for me because I'm just like, I ain't never been nowhere, man. I'm just like, you know, good guy turned bad type thing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, I'm seeing all these people and I'm just like, you know, all of a sudden I see out the corner of my eye, this look like a girl, but you know how it is, you know, it's these guys that are, you know, feminine type, you know, look into the camera, babe. And I'm just like, what? You know, is that what this is, you know? So going through that process, you know, of Central, the 90-day out type thing, and, you know, being in there and seeing brothers practicing. You know, I saw this brother who was a Muslim, you know, and he would go and he would make salat, but then he would go and play dominoes and do all the stuff with all the other people, you know? So I said, man, what is this dude doing? And he came one day and he said,
for the people, just for the people, can you break down what do you mean by Central? You know what I mean? So the people.
Central is like, you know, when you go to jail and you get booked, you know, and they give you the fingerprints and all this kind of stuff. Chino Central is where you go and officially become a member of the CDC system. It's a different type of booking. You're getting, matter of fact, whatever your street identity is, you're going to exchange it right there for an ID card that says, in my case, D68548. You become a number. So Chino Central is where they actually take your identity and give you one of theirs, you know. So as they gave me mine, you know, it's guys going in and coming out. What they say, this was 1987. So brothers was coming out with a look of like, you know, terror, but they was colding it up, you know. And brothers, I remember brothers saying, man, you got a Buck Rogers date. I'm like, Buck Rogers date? What is that? You know, so I mean, we remember the cartoon Buck Rogers. Yeah. He had a date of 2017 or 2018. This was 1987. So he got 30 years or something. And I'm just like, Buck Rogers, you know. So they referred to me as the short timer because, you know, I had less than 10, you know, so I'm thinking like, you know, you might as well gave me life because, you know, any kind of time was enough. You know what I'm saying? So to go through that, man, it was just amazing to see a different world and to see Muslims functioning in the world like that. I was like, damn, what is this? Yeah. What is this? You know, so the brother would, you know, he would, you know, I would see him making salat, you know, just like the Muslims and wondering like, man, what is this dude doing, man? You know, and he would go and, you know, all around the yard, he's playing and all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, one time he came and he said, brother, you know, we're going up to the chapel. You know, that's what they call any kind of religious meeting is going to be in the chapel, right? He says, we're listening to Farrakhan. And I was like, really? I said, yeah, you know, I'm down with that. You know, I want to go and check out Farrakhan. I mean, you know, everybody want to hear, you know, a little jolt of Farrakhanism, you know? So I go up there and there was no Farrakhan. And it was an imam. It was imam from San Diego. And the imam, this is when I reached like another yard. It was like over at CRC. So now I'm over there. And so everything was kind of like, you know, this is where you're going to be. And the imam was like talking about Islam. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. But in my mind, believe me, Jahiliyyah. I mean, I couldn't wait to get back because I got a phone call to make because I'm calling to see if everybody's still doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, it was still in me. It was still in me. And so he kept talking about Islam and I was like, okay, cool. And, you know, so after the meeting, I left, you know, so I never went back and the brother tried to get me to go up there again. I was like, nah, you know, it's okay. I'm cool, man. I don't really, you know. He said, nah, but you know, the imam was asking about you, man. He said, you from San Diego. He want to see you, man. I'm just like, really? I said, okay, man. So I went back up. Alhamdulillah. So everything he's saying is making sense. I mean, you know, it's really interesting how when you say something that's true, it identifies with your inner self, you know. But I was trying to reject it. I was just like, man, I'm not ready to hear that right now. I mean, you know, he's right. Yeah, okay. But, you know, right now, nah, man, I got too much. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do when I come. Exactly. When I come out, man, it's going to be on. I'm going to do this and do that. You know, so he said that, you know, Ramadan is coming. You know, and this was one of the hot ones. This was August. I'll never forget. He said, yeah, Ramadan is coming and you're welcome to fast if you want to. You know, I'm like, fast? So what's that? You know? He said, you know, we'll go through 30 days. He explained what Ramadan was. And I was like, well, shoot, I get to get out of being locked up with them? Yeah, you know, I'm down, you know. So you know, we go through a process of 30 days, man. And it was probably one of the best Ramadans I've ever had. Brothers was getting up, you know, they would eat the little suhoor. They would go up to, you know, the little, you know, chapel or whatever. They'd read Quran. They pass it around, you know, everybody would read like a little part. So we read the 30th every morning. I'm just like, man, this is cool, you know. It comes to me and I'm reading and I almost feel ashamed because, you know, I went to school, I graduated, my reading was pretty good. So as I'm reading, I'm the only one that's not struggling. Brothers is looking at me like, man, you know, who's this, you know, is he the police or something or what, you know, because I sound too good, you know. It's like, so I'm like, wait a minute, man, you know, what is this? Man, after the first 3 or 4 days, it was unbelievable, man, because this other brother from Long Beach came in. He's fasting. Me and him, we talking. He's like from Long Beach, and he was telling me, man, you know, Islam is this, Islam is that. Neither one of us knew anything about Islam. But this brother said, man, we're going to fast, man. So he's fasting, and we had class. We were going to class, and in the class, he's putting his head down on the table, said he had a headache. So the teacher wouldn't let him get out. The teacher was telling him, oh, you have to wait. You know, we have control movement. You know how that goes. You know, you have to wait until the bus comes, you know. So finally, when he gets up and he goes back to his cell, they're saying, you know, this brother's sick, you know. So I didn't think I'd seen him. We go up for iftar. This is like the 3rd day of Ramadan. We go up for iftar, and the brother comes up there, and he's scratching his head. And the brother said, you know, brother, if you're sick, you don't have to fast. The brother looked at him, he said, man, Allah will take care of me. And I'm like, wow, you know, he said it like he knew something, man. Really? We're fresh, man. We don't know anything about Islam. Do you know the next day he died? And I'm like, whoa, man, this brother died. Larry, I never forget, you know, this brother, we were talking, and he was telling me, man, about, you know, he's looking through my photo album, telling me, you know, man, you was rolling, you was doing this. He said, but man, what if you became a Muslim, man, and you went back, you know? So I'm thinking about all this stuff, man, that this brother's telling me. So I'm just like shocked, man. They come and roll the stuff up. You know, he had meningitis. So, you know, them kind of places is, you know, really dirty places, you know. So he died of meningitis, he had spinal meningitis. And for me, I made it a point. I got to finish Ramadan, you know. So by the end of Ramadan, man, I was just so moved by the imam coming up, you know, and he's talking to us. I'm just like, man, this is like truth, man. I can't believe this, man, you know. So that point went to another, man. Next thing you know, the brothers came and got me. They found out that, you know, I grew up, you know, in this organization, US organization. And I heard Sonny telling you about that. So he said, you know, can you come and talk, you know, about like some sort of Black history, George Jackson. So I knew about this. So I came and spoke, and the brothers was like excited. They invited me back. Next thing you know, man, I'm giving khutbahs, and you know, they're like terrible, but they told me to come and they told me what to do. So I'm like, okay, you know. But you know, one thing led to another, and I have to say this: that one thing that drew me towards Islam, you know, other than the adhan, I heard the brother calling the adhan, and I was just like, man, what was that? This brother Mansour, I'll never forget. You know, he's from Egypt, and he called the adhan so beautifully. I said, man, what was that?
So there was a guy named Mansour that was that was in the prison.
That was in the prison, Muslim, and he called the adhan, and it sounds so melodic. I said, man, what was that? So what's the adhan? Well, what happens when you call that? It's a call to prayer. I was like, man, that was right on, man. That was on, you know. So after that, the brothers, you know, called me to come back, and I was saying that was the one thing that kind of drew me towards Islam. But the other thing is that I never met a dumb Muslim. Even the ones that were there were intelligent in their own right. You know, something about Islam that seemed to push or bring out the excellence in an individual. And I saw that, and I liked that. I said, you know what? man, this is something, I'm with this. I'm with this, I don't know how far I can take it, but I'm with it,
Yeah, okay.
And one thing led to another. I found out that, by me going, that, in there as a Muslim, you're kind of exempt. When there's drama, the blacks, the Mexicans, the blacks, when there's friction on the inside,
with different races.
Yeah, the Muslims are usually exempt, So, and it was like interesting because being a Muslim in there and then going to school, it was almost like I was looked at as being more knowledgeable. So brothers was coming to me, asking me these hard type questions, which really wasn't that hard, but they were like, I'll never forget this dude, Black Mike. He was from LA, man. This dude was swole, man. He had to be like 6'5", swole. Okay. So the police came and they hit his locker and they took all his stuff. And oh man, he started cussing and tore up everything, telling me, man, I'm gonna write a 602 and I'm gonna do this. And he came down, he sat down right by my bunk and he said, hey Jay, man, can you help me write a 602? And I was just like, I'm shocked. Yeah. I mean, because this brother's coming to me, he couldn't read, he couldn't write, but this dude was swole. Okay. Right then I understood that, whatever you got, the knowledge is probably more intimidating than anything else. He had to yield everything he had to me because he couldn't write, So I wrote the 602, put a bunch of pretty words in there and he got it granted. Oh man, I was the man then, Brothers was coming to me, hey man, I'm writing this sister up on the hill, like where I was again at CRC, there was sisters up on the hill, right? Okay. I'm writing this, can you help me write this letter, man? So I'm writing letters and everything. The brothers getting letters back. So, I'm like the man because of that little bit of knowledge. And I wasn't really a scholar, but just the fact that I could, put some words together, man. And, from that point on, man, the brothers, they made me the rep for the brothers. And, for one thing led to another. And I think that Islam was really the key, to all of that, man. Okay. So from that point, I studied as best I could and tried to bring it to the streets, man. And
okay. So your fall was in 87. And then when was your Shahada actual year actually?
Probably like 88.
Okay,
inside.
88. Okay, 88.
Yeah, inside.
Okay, 88.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
88. Whoa.
So and it's really interesting because the whole 80s for me, in the book that I'm writing, I'm calling the 80s the decade of decadence because from all the 80s, all of the 80s, man, I'm telling you, I lived in a certain way. And for me, I look back and I say, man, that couldn't have been me. That could not have been me. No way. There's no way you would think that 80s, was me.
The 80s was full.
The 80s was it, man. It was it, man. So
madness,
yeah.
Wow.
So
you took your shahada at 88, okay? Mm-hmm. And from what I'm understanding, that you definitely became the imam up there because you know what they say? They say the one with the most knowledge or the one who can read is king. Mm. Or the one who can see. You know what I'm saying? Right. When you're the land of the blind, the one that can see is king. Right. You know what I mean? So
wow.
So
that's interesting.
So that was your position at that point.
Yeah, and I don't think it was really because of knowledge. I think it was because maybe a lack thereof from others.
Others,
okay. And and I think that to them it was just like, let this brother, and I really, believe me, I didn't have any certain level of knowledge, but I wanted it. I definitely wanted it. I wanted the knowledge, not the position. I wanted the knowledge, but the brother thrusted me into this position. The next thing I know, I'm trying to put out fires that are just way too big.
Okay.
The whole Mexican mob came and said, it's about to be on because we heard this brother is about to pour water in the back of the TV because the Mexicans' day, they get their day for the TV.
Okay.
The whites get their day for the
segregated.
TV. And the brothers get their day for the TV. Okay. So this was Saturday, and the Mexicans didn't want to watch Soul Train. And what did they want to do that for? Man, the brothers was, man, it's like, man, he gonna pour water in the TV. He gonna do all this kind of stuff. I said, look, man, brother, check this out, man. You pour water in that TV. Not only are we not gonna have a TV, man, but you gonna have big drama that it ain't gonna be some people that may not want to ride with you on that, man. Really, So it's like having to put those type of fires out was just major, man. Because again, I've never been in a place like that, But I tell you what, knowledge is something that will definitely stand true wherever you go, and that's something that really stuck with me because I got probably a certain level of respect that I wouldn't have got if I wasn't Muslim or if I didn't have like a certain level of knowledge, you know. So that was you know, a beautiful time. I mean, it was a time away, you know, being away from society, but it had to happen. It had to
let
happen.
me ask you another question. So in that type of setting, because how are Christians looked at then? Because you spoke as far as the Muslims, the way they're looked at, and because I think the majority of the people in that setting would be Christians.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so the Christians don't have the same level of recognition.
Not necessarily. Christianity is like the religion of default. And I remember when I came through, and there was, they make you check the box. What is your religion? How much education did you graduate from high school? When they go through all that, I remember putting down that I was Christian. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else.
All of all of us raised Christian. Yeah, all of us raised Christian.
Exactly. So to them, Christianity is the religion of default. So if you're a brother and you're a Christian, you riding with the brothers. If it's like some sort of something that drops, and you really can't miss it. You're there. And you're black. And pretty much, I mean, if you're Muslim, you're not gonna just stand by and act like you ain't in it. But there is probably people look to the Muslims as like some sort of resolve will come from there. What do the Muslims say? Do they agree with they always look at that
because a lot of times, even in the movie Attica, when that big riot took place, the Muslims were basically, they were the negotiators. They were the ones that had control over the whole situation. Yeah, because of the recognition that they have with the with the police and the guards and the wardens and so forth. So man, so from 87 all the way to what time? When did you finally make it home? And
I got out in 91, and I believe that's where I saw you. Okay. I came home in 91, and I think that's where I saw you.
No, I think I saw you. I met you in 90,
maybe 92.
93.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met you in 93, and when I met you in 93, I met you on I want to say El Cajon or University.
Yeah. In the parking lot right there. Yes. 54th, right? 54th.
And so the whole thing about that for me was that I was like, that's Adam? And he's like, yeah, you know the brother? I'm like, yeah, I know the brother. You know what I'm saying? So I want to believe that I came there, I want to say with Brother Musa or Brother Mikael. And so because all of those brothers are originally not from San Diego, they don't know that we come from the same neighborhood. Yeah. And so so they was, because all you brothers are older than me, you know what I'm saying? So all those brothers were like, the older brothers like, oh, you know that brother? I'm like, how do I not know that brother?
It's really interesting because as people would speak your name, I mean, they would say it, and I like had to say, yeah, I know him, because to say that I don't know you is like saying, well, you're not really a Muslim, man. What, you don't know this brother? And I knew that I knew you, and if anybody came to ask you, do you know this brother? You would say yes. But I'm just like, I really don't know the brother because we never really hung.
Because you older than me.
Yes.
A whole different, a whole different age range. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, I remember when I was younger, it had to be, I want to say 81 or 88. I'm gonna say between 82 and 83. Wow, 82, 83. Right around that time is when I saw you then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was cutting up.
Yeah.
I was cutting up then.
Nah.
Yeah,
hey man, you was the man. And so when I saw you then, I was up on Springford, and I was
Oh,
up there.
okay.
Yeah, I was up there with my ex brother-in-law, and
Okay.
and so
Okay.
and so that's when
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
you, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, who was that? It's
Probably my mom. My mom might have been giving one of them block parties. You know, she was the one that was giving the block parties there. So that probably was it. That
oh,
probably
you
was
already
it.
know. Yeah,
Oh,
you already
everybody,
know.
man.
So
True.
yeah, it was going on. You know what I mean? And you had came through there, and that was the first because I think that about the time I got to Morris High School, you were already
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, you were gone. Yeah.
I
And
was
so
gone. I was
yeah.
definitely gone.
And so I think that because my first year actually I went to Madison. I
Okay.
went to Madison my first year there. I went to
Okay.
Madison with my brother, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the full year there. And so
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know, I came back over to Morris, and you
Wow.
know, I was cutting up in
Alhamdulillah.
Morris, and then I went
Oh
on
man.
to Lincoln. So we definitely,
MashaAllah.
yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
we definitely
Wow.
didn't
Wow.
catch each
Wow.
other because I was with
Mm-hmm.
Marcus and all of them, and Steve,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Steve Sexton,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Black
Okay.
Dave,
Okay.
whole different age
Okay.
range, whole
Wow.
different. I think
Wow.
I'm 54 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I know you got to be at least
Yeah, I'm coming up on
3 or 4 years.
57.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
My
know.
birthday actually is
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
2 weeks,
So I'm like,
23rd. So
yeah, I'm
yeah,
for sure. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, you got to be a year old,
uh-huh.
3 or 4 years older than me
Yeah,
for sure. You know what I mean? Cause
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So
Alhamdulillah, man.
so
Wow.
you make it home,
Make it
okay?
home,
You make it
and
home, and then
that was interesting.
when I saw you, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna skip. I'm gonna let you
Mm-hmm.
speak on it because you made it home. And so
Mm-hmm.
how was the transition? Okay, you made it home, the transition from as far as now you're home, and now
Mm-hmm.
you're coming from your past life, and I know it's knocking at the door. Hey, here we go. You know what I
Here we
mean? Hey,
go.
here we go. So
Yeah,
how do
yeah,
you
yeah,
make
yeah.
that transition from leaving that and then continue on with your Muslim life? Because when I saw you, I was totally impressed. You know what I mean? Because
Wow.
you know you were business. You know you were
Mm-hmm.
doing your thing, and the brother like, you know, this is the brother
Yeah.
Adam. I'm like, wow, Adam.
I have I
Okay.
have to tell you that you know, it's interesting that you would say that because I think that the name itself probably was bigger than I really was. I saw some brother that I really didn't even know on when I came to Donovan. I was like coming down to 5-yard. It's brother Menifee. I don't even know him, but he's from like Emerald Hills, I think. You know.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
said,
I know.
man, he came to me on the yard. He said, man, you from Dago, right? You from around Dago Skyline area? I said, oh man, I hope this ain't no banging question. But I said, yeah. He said, man, they told me that dude AJ was on this yard, man. I said, who told you that? What are you talking about? He's asking me about AJ as if I'm like, dude, man, that's me. He said, what? He said, man, you know, man, I thought you was like you know, this guy, you know what I'm saying? When you hear about this,
6'4", yeah.
exactly. I said,
6'4".
yeah, I said we look larger on the field, you know what I'm saying? So
Oh my goodness. 6'4",
because
19-inch
from that,
arms. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, exactly. But when I came out, I tell you that I have to give it to my buddy, man. He
Okay.
passed away, man, and this is like
Allah.
shocking because since I've been here, he
Okay.
passed away. This is Bobby Allen. They call him Tubi. Man, this man, let me tell you what he did for me. He
Bobby
came
Allen.
and got me from the halfway house. I was at VOA downtown.
Okay.
He would come and get me every day from the halfway house. And he told me, he said, look, man, tell them people you got a job. I said, well, where? I got a store. He had this store called High Roller Fashion. And he brought me to the store. He said, man, I want you to come here, work here, do whatever you need to do, man. Because I know, man, you got this. You know, I'm just like, really? Man, we did all kind of stuff. And he really got me into wanting to go into business, and which I did after that. I ended up going to
Okay.
automobile.
You know what? I never knew this part of the story. All right.
Yes.
So Bobby Allen took
He's
you.
the one.
Okay.
He's the one.
And
he
so
is the one, man.
Where was High Roller Fashion at actually? It was on
right on Imperial. Right on Imperial, like 68th or somewhere, like right where the trolley stop is.
Okay,
right there where Fargo's barbecue was, right? That man got me, man. Oh man, so many things opened up for me just because of that, you know, because at first I was just going to school. I was going to City College and going to VOA, and they were like, you know, you can't just go to, you know, college, you know, you got to have a job. And I was like, oh man, I gotta have a job, you know? So he was coming to get me, man, and he laid it out for me, man. I didn't know until just lately when I ran into his sister at his funeral, and his sister was telling me how, you know what, I used to argue with him because he was giving you my hours. She was working there before I came there, and she was telling him, I remember him arguing with her, and I never knew what it was about, man. Never knew what it was about, man. And she told me, she said, yeah, I used to argue with him about him giving you my hours. I was like, wow, really? But man, he took me, man, and he really helped it. He helped me, you know, get off the parole, all of that.
Okay.
You know, and
so
school, you know,
how long did you have to do?
And all that
how long did you have to do on parole and stuff like that?
13 months. It was supposed to be a 3-year parole or something, but I ended up getting off in 13 months because, you know, everything was so sound, you know. I'll never forget, man, when I got a chance to actually come to the house, home, on Springford, right? The day I got there, man, this lady comes to my door, boom, 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 knocking, Adam Jeffers. I come, I open the door, this lady, she's a parole agent. She comes, man, she got big dark circles around her eyes, she got a gun on her. She says, I just want to let you know that I'm the parole agent for Skyline, and anything that, you know, she's really just like, really talking crazy. Wow. But I guess she thinks that, you know, I'm in Skyline, naturally, I got to be, you know, one of the bangers, right? Yeah. So I said, you know, would you like to come in? She said, no. Well, yeah. She looked at me like, you know, that wasn't, you know, one of the things that usually happens. Ain't nobody offered. I said, you know, come in. I said, you want to see, you know, where I sleep and, you know, anything like that, you know? She says, she looks around and it's like, you know, so this is where you stay? I said, yeah.
Not the typical setup.
She said, yeah. She said, well, where do you work? So I didn't want to tell her that I worked at Bob because it was kind of under the table type thing, you know? So I said, well, you know, I go to school. You go to school. Who said you can do that? You know, like, you know, what are you trying to do? You know, you going off the script. You know, you're supposed to be struggling and working at Popeye's Chicken so you can get violated and go back. You know what I'm saying? You know, but she's like, you know, what are you doing going to school? Who said you could do that? You know, you're changing the script. So I said, you know, I'm going to school, you know, so she looked at me, and do you know, from that point on, every time she comes, she would be a little more at ease, like a little more at ease. Respectful. And then, finally she came. She said, you know, you're my last, you know, site. So I come, you know, and I come here last, you know. And then from that point on, she was cool. She said, you know what, you can just mail in, you know. So things kind of just, you know, took a different turn because, you know, I was determined not to be a statistic, man. I was reading all that stuff, and it was really scaring me, saying that the recidivism rate was 99%. I'm just like, man, that means everybody goes back. You know, I'm thinking, man, oh man, I can't go back, man. No, I can't go back. You know, so I was scared, man. I was really scared because I'm thinking that, you know, the slightest thing happened, you're going back. You know, you're definitely going back. And I see clearly how people go back because one of the conditions of the parole is that you can't go 50 miles in any direction, north, south, east, or west. So in other words, you have to go back to the same neighborhood that you're from. That would be problematic if I got people that, you know, I'm associated with. Naturally, you know, I'm gonna get hooked up with them and go back, you know, but luckily, you know, it didn't happen that way for me. But I see how people get crossed up on parole. Definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So you started going to school, and as you started going to school, what did you study and what did you major in?
I have to tell you,
because people need to know that you're a professor now. You know what I mean?
Well,
they need to know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I have to tell you,
okay,
I had no idea what I wanted to study.
Okay.
I changed my major probably like 5 times.
Okay,
You know,
so
I
what
wanted
was
business.
what did you first major in? Because I know,
I
because I know
started
you,
out
I
with
know you was in
business.
business for a minute. Yeah, because
Yeah, I
I
wanted
know.
business.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to accounting. I was at City College. And get this, City College was as far as I wanted to go. I was not planning on going any further than City College. But this brother came to me, Art Boyd. He was a counselor. He came to me and he said, man, you know, you got enough credits. You know, I don't know where it came from. He said, you went to Laverne University? And I was like, yeah, that was like, you know, when I was, you know, away. You know, I didn't want to tell him. He said, but man, you got enough credits. You could transfer to San Diego State. Oh man, I shook in my boots. I was like, San Diego State, you know, I'm thinking, you know, this is where all the smart people are. No, man, I can't do that, you know. So I said, no, man. I said, no, I just want to, you know, if I got enough credits, can I just get an AA degree? Because my thing is this: if I get that AA degree, I maybe could set up a business like Bobby, you know, get something like that in the hood. You know, that's what I was looking at. You know, he said, man, look at this, man. He said, you can go to San Diego State. Not only will you be able to, you know, major in something good. He said, but man, you know, the classes are about the same that they are here. They may be a little bigger. He said, you get financial aid, it'll be twice as much as you get now. I said, hold it. I can get twice as much what I get right now? He said, yeah. I said, oh man, that's it, man. Sign me up, man. I'm gone. You know? That was it, you know? So to go to San Diego State, man, was a shock. And this is actually, I'm writing about this right now, this part, when I go to San Diego State, because the first class I took was like this religious studies class.
Really?
And the professor said, he said, man, you're gonna know what I believe. He says, but I will say this. He says, if it wasn't a God, if God didn't exist, then man would have created one. So I'm like, wow, that's pretty heavy. You know, it's pretty heavy, you know? So I'm in this class, man, and this professor was a theater major too. So every time he would talk about a religion, he would act it out. You know, he's talking about Christianity. He's walking through the aisles like he's like Jesus, man. He's talking like, you know, this dude was good, man. But he said something that was really profound, and I'm actually writing this right now as we speak. He says, is happiness possible if death is real? And I was like, I mean, for me, that's challenging everything I stood for, you know, because I'm like, all I about was about trying to get paid, you know, get money. But what he's saying is that, can you really be happy if you know the angel of death is coming for you? Can you really be happy? You know, and I was like, man, wait a minute. What is he saying? You know, even to this day, I think of it that as I try to, you know, no, wait a minute, man. Let me, you know, because all this will be gone, you know. So can you really be happy and satisfied with what you're doing if you know that the angel of death is coming to rob you of this, you know? And I was like, man, you know, so when he started going in talking about Islam, you know, I'm thinking I know a little bit about Islam. I'm going to be, you know, asking questions and everything, man. This professor, man, he blew me all the way out of the water, man. All the way, man. So from that point, I was like, you know what? I'm a Muslim, you know. I am a Muslim and that's it. You know, I ain't, you know, and you know, there's a lot of temptation up on campus at San Diego State. I mean, you know, this was the year, I mean, Marshall Falk was there. I mean, this was the year that San Diego State was starting to really, blossom.
Yeah.
Oh man, really, you know, and it's a whole lot of distractions, you know, but from that point, it really taught me something, man. It really did. And actually to see, you know, the higher education has its own issues, you know, about people, you know, having records and all that, because to try to get financial aid, they ask you, you know, have you ever been, you know, incarcerated, or have you ever been like with a controlled substance? Meaning, have you ever sold drugs before? You know, so you can't really get financial aid if you check that box and say that you have. So it's difficult for the average person if you don't know how to go around that kind of stuff. You know? But you know, I'm in debt because of that, but it helped me because that money that I took, you know, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but that's what I actually opened up the business with. You know, I got like, I think a financial aid check. I said, man, I'm taking this to the auction, man. And I went, this partner that I linked up with, and he's actually there now. Golden State Auto Sales is there now.
I'm going to do what I know how to do.
Exactly. I'm going to do what I know how to do. And I'm going to pay him back, believe me. I have every intention. I have every intention to pay him back. But,
definitely.
you know, I'm in debt because of that. But, you know, it helped. It definitely helped, man. So,
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah, though, it's tough, but just to give kind of the whole story on the academics, of course, once I got the bachelor's degree, I thought I was the shit. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm gonna get this job that's gonna pay me like 6 figures, right? I got a bachelor's degree, man. What you talking about, man? What? And then I see, I went to the African Alliance. This was a place on El Cajon Boulevard. I said, man, I'm gonna work for the Africans. They wasn't feeling me. I couldn't get no job, because again, my degree was in liberal studies, education. Okay. And so in order to work K through 12, to teach K through
we gotta.
I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, you froze up for me.
Yeah, internet was going. It was going weak for a second. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I couldn't really find work in that area because of the records. So I came back. My sister was instrumental. My sister was an attorney, and she said, well, yeah, you got your bachelor's degree. She said, well, why don't you try to get your master's? And I was like, oh man. I said, nah. I said, no, I don't think that's gonna be possible. She said, well, why not? Well, I got a record. She said, you should try anyway. I said, well, I tell you what, I'm a sign up. If they take me, I'll go. So she signed me up for this program, CBB. She knew the lady. She knew the lady in there. So I was like, okay. I signed up. Okay. They called me. They said, yeah, we're looking for African-American male counselors, we want to interview you. And so I was like, really? I said, okay. So I went, got accepted, man, and it was amazing, man. Again, it was like another level. School is always school. It's always, the same type of stuff. But when they started processing stuff and talking about things that mostly is theoretical, I had experienced a lot of that stuff. So when I'm starting to tell them, like, what it's really like, they're like, oh, wait a minute, oh, so you've been? I said, yeah, I've been there, and this is, what it's like. And they're like, wow, so from that point, it was like, okay, master's degree, that's it. I ain't going to school no more. That's it, right? All of a sudden, I'm working in San Diego State, and this brother, Sean Harper, he comes down to San Diego State, and he's saying, he's the director of this program, this doctorate program at USC. Anybody got a master's degree, he's signing them up. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not down. That's enough school for me, So he said, man, just fill it out, So he sent me the thing. I filled it out, man. And I think, when they start talking about diversity and equity and all that, I have another take on that, because, people pretty much, they talk that thing. But, when you look at the representation, to me, diversity means that you should have people like me, people with, who's been incarcerated. That's part of it. If you're talking about LGBT, you're talking about all these other groups. What about incarcerated groups? That should be included in diversity, All right. So they're like, what? We're feeling that, So I ended up getting into the program, and the rest was history, So alhamdulillah, because those was actually two of the best schools, San Diego State and USC. It couldn't have been better, So having that, I think it kind of helped pave the way to where I am, So I don't know what else to say about that, but again, read the book. It's coming.
Yeah.
I'm
waiting. Oh man, I'm waiting. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I know it. Oh man, I'm waiting on it.
So,
Inshallah. Subhanallah. Yeah. So you finally you get everything laid out. I know you're happily married. You know what I mean? You got kids. What year did you get married? You know what I mean?
I got married in 2006, and it was actually right after I came back from Hajj. I made Hajj in 2006, 2005, 2006, right? And you know what? I have to be the only person, maybe you, but the only person who made Hajj. When I'm going into the Haram, I'm thinking about the game, USC was playing Washington. I'll never forget, I'm thinking all this worldly stuff, I don't know why I'm thinking like not just knee deep. She was bouncing in my head. I'm thinking all this worldly type stuff. I'm sorry. This is just where I was at that time, But man, I stepped into the Haram, man. Everything vanished like somebody just wiped it away. I forgot about the game, and whatever that beat was that I was thinking, was gone. I saw the Haram. I was like, man, this is the direction that we pray. This is what we pray towards, what? This is like deep, man. This is deep stuff, man. Really, really deep stuff, man. And then to go through all the rites and rituals and everything, Hajj, I didn't really completely understand all of it, but I knew it was deep. You know, I knew that this was real. You know, you're talking about Arafat, you know, there's a story. I mean, this is where Ibrahim, you know, alayhi salam went, you know, so, and he went to, you know, all these different places. So, you know, at that time, I didn't understand the significance, but to see 2 million people all there for the same cause, to worship Allah, you know, they ain't there to beat up nobody. They ain't there to do, you know, it ain't no harm or nothing like this. Like all these people here to worship Allah. Oh, this is deep, man. This is deep, you know. So I came from there. I was buzzing. I said, man, I'm coming back, man. You know, I'm definitely picking up, you know, the torch. You know, it's gonna be Islam all the way. I'm gonna get married, you know. So, man, I would have took it. As soon as the first sister I met, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, let's go. You know, I'm ready. You know, that's how it happened, man. That's how it happened. You know, I swear. I mean, alhamdulillah, I got good, but you know, I mean, I turned down a lot of good to get to the good I got. You know, a lot. You know, and I was just like, you know, coming from Jahiliyyah, we want every single thing to be perfect. Oh no, the sisters, you know, she's too light, too dark, or whatever. You know, you got all these little issues in your head, you know. But after making Hajj, I was like, man, you know what? This life is like fleeting.
You don't know
when. When you see all the janazas, you know, after every salat there's a janaza, you know, and back then they was like carrying him right past us, you know. I'm like, what is that? That's the body? Oh man, what? You know.
And then another one.
There's another one. There's another one. You know, it's always a janaza, and it's like, wow. You know. So alhamdulillah, you know, that kind of made it official for me. So I came back, had to, you know, tie the knot, and you know, that's it. You know, alhamdulillah.
SubhanAllah. So y'all heard it. There it is there, man. Man.
That's it, man.
Yeah, this is going to be this is powerful here, man, because even myself, you know, I've been really, really anticipating, you know, just sitting down, hearing the whole story, you know, and just chopping it up with you. And we have some other issues that we need to talk about too, that I want to get in touch with you on after this. So without further ado, we're gonna close out at the moment, and I should be looking forward to it depends. So officially, we're gonna close out, and everyone, we'd like you to go ahead and thank our guest, Professor Adam. You know, brother who came all the way up from the trenches. And
man, alhamdulillah.
Now,
beautiful. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Man, when I look back and I think about from the first time I actually saw you, when I was like maybe I think I was like maybe 14 to 15, and I was looking, oh, you know, and then when I look now, I'm even like, whoa, you know
what?
Yeah, because
alhamdulillah,
your transformation, Allah has truly blessed you. You know what I mean? And you know, even when I did the interview with your nephew, Sonny Bo, you know,
alhamdulillah,
that right there, you know, the way he told me, you know, he said, my uncle, you know, he never really, you know, that takes wisdom, hikmah. You know what I mean? Because what I've noticed is that when you try to talk to people about the deen, it pushes them away.
Pushes them away.
Yeah.
Pushes them away. I never talked to him.
Yeah.
Never talked to him about it, you know.
That's the key point, is that a lot of people is that people don't need to see your words. They need to see your actions.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Very important. Very important.
When they stream forth,
that's right.
There's no more questions.
That's it. That's it.
And so this is the overwhelming point, is that when he told me that, I was like, whoa, you know, because I'm thinking, you know, his uncle, you know, went ahead and set him down, and you know, but when he told me that, I said, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he told me, he said, my uncle asked me, he said, I hope you're not doing this for me. You know what I mean?
Nah. Yeah, man. Yeah. I was surprised, man. Sometimes, you know, I would look on Facebook and I would see him, and I knew that he was rapping, and he was like #1 on iTunes. I mean, this dude, he had a big billboard on Imperial.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
mean, a big, big billboard on Imperial, you know. And so I would go on Facebook sometimes and I would see him post these things, and you know, he's just like, you know, I don't know, you know, what he's got in his head, you know, but I could just see him taking that route, you know, just really, really taking that route.
You've been there before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I said, man, you know, what can I do, man? What can I do, you know, to, you know, but there's really nothing that I can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do, but
there's a lot gonna guide him. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And you know, ironically, I have to say, the same person that gave him Shahada is the same person that gave my brother Shahada. Same person, Brother Khalid down at Pillars. I remember my brother, man, came to me one day and he said, man, do they do things different? You know, different masjids? I said, well, what do you mean, do things different? I said, well, you know, like church, you know, I went to church, you know, and they you know, it was Easter, you know, how we used to, you know, go get a Sunday best and go to Easter. Oh, man, they shut the doors on him, man. They locked him up and asked him, did he have a church home? And he was like, he wasn't feeling it. And they made him, you know, ask him, you know, well, speak in tongues. This is how you do it, you know. So they kind of chased him out, you know. So when he asked me, when he was asking me, he didn't tell me that part. But he said, you know, do they do anything different? I said, man, you know what? You can go to a masjid in China, man. It's the same, man. You know, it's going to be the same. You know, it's going to be like this. He said, really? Do you know, a year later, he came to me. He said, man, I got my Shahada, man. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, I took my Shahada. I said, man, from where? From Khalid. Same brother.
Yeah.
Same brother. So alhamdulillah, man, for this brother, man.
Yeah, Khalid.
Those brothers are doing good
Khalid's
stuff down
doing
there
the work. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I think that the work that he's doing, mashallah, shout out to Brother Khalid down in San Diego, and brother when I was down there, Brother Tariq was also
oh man, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
Brother
you know,
Tariq
it's really a trip. It's unfortunate, but I think that, you know, brothers need to hear the stories of these individuals. You know, if you really knew the stories and where these people are coming from and how they got to be where they are, man, you say what, and you're what, you know.
That's my next move. That's my next move is to set up that interview with brother Khalid and also Brother Tariq down in the Pillars.
We need
just got a new master down there. You know, they just got a new master down there, and and they're working on the building now and trying to renovate it and so forth. You know, so what we need to do is any kind of sadaqah that we can do
in the community.
We need to be trying to donate and pay our zakat and sadaqah over on that side. You know what I mean?
Inshallah.
Sure.
Inshallah. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Without further ado, Akeem, mashallah, we gonna
alhamdulillah, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Oh man, it's a blessing. And I don't know what your situation is gonna be like tonight. Can I hit you back or should I wait until tomorrow?
You can hit me back. It'll be a good time.
Okay.
It'll be a good time. You can hit me back.
I got some things I need to get in order. You know how it is when you run in the house. You know what I mean? I got some things.
Absolutely, man. Handle your business, man.
I get them in order. Plus, they just call the adhan. After I get them in order, boom, I'll go ahead and hit you up and let you know we coming back on, okay? Shukran.
Inshallah. All right. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for listening and watching. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and also share.